we're going to be debunking the potential release date of Bayonetta 3. But I'm going to answer why there has been nothing in the past 8 months for this game. Mark Amaro, again, don't take these leaks seriously, said supposedly the game will be released in October of this year. So based on this, we'll be getting a trailer in around August to September. To be honest, just like how most of the comments emanate, and what really makes me so skeptical of this is that there is no direct date. Only a hint of more info before at least the 21st of June, which I hope is a trailer. I'm still expecting a December 31st release. Now, there's a certain article that I found. I'm not going to just beat around the question for 10 straight minutes. Where is it and what am I hoping for? I spent the last 2 years on that subject. The article that I came across talked about setting up the PlatinumVerse, and now I thought that was crazy at first. Remember, this is just something to think about, to wait for the game, don't take it too seriously. But at the same time, this is just one of those wishful reasons as to why they have been keeping it a secret all this time, not even a sliver of lore news. The author of the article, Shane, referenced that there is a trend of connected universes in games, and I'd like to add in both movies and in media. They referred to the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they referenced the idea of different properties sharing an interconnected world has become more lucrative and interesting to pursue. I agree. And I love your writing. Now, it's hard enough to make a standalone film, let alone an interconnected universe, especially in film. You've got decades instead of years. You've got legal battles for certain characters. Again, I thought this was crazy and immensely impossible. But then I started playing Sheba's advocate. So just for context and to name a few, there are the series which have humanoid characters. We have the Bayoverse, the Devil May Cry verse, I'm looking at you, Obsolete Woman. We have the Yokoverse, ASUS, I'm looking at you. We also have the Astralverse and the Metal Gear verse.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
But then I thought, look, if No Way Home could do it, and seeing the success of the MCU, which might I add Kamiya is a fan of, what's to say that other franchises that have already established decade-old series couldn't do it? This theory is almost akin to the theory where I discussed the Genshin lore with Jessica Viva, who you have to follow, by the way. And I got into Genshin. I will be streaming my pulls for Step Bayonetta very soon. My favorite hint being that some of the characters in Genshin are variants of the characters, or some of the characters in Honkai Impact. I wishfully theorized that the ending arc, or one of the ending arcs of Genshin Impact, would be us meeting the Honkai Impact universe, where we might see the characters' worlds connecting before they close. Both are owned by the same company, which changed their name to Hoyoverse, which could be a nice hint to the direction of their products, or just to hop on the trend of verses in the pop cultural climate. But now that you have that in the back of your mind, imagine if Bayonetta 3 could be the one to set up the PlatinumVerse. They've already established Easter eggs and references to Devil May Cry, so what if they just did a whole 180 and just used them to finally connect to the DMC verse? Not that one. We've already theorized the thought of multiple timelines with Brave Cereza meeting our Bayonetta, but what if that is just the cherry on top? Remember when John referenced this, and I will always hold this to be one of the greatest foreshadowings in Bayoverse history. Potentially.
何かが世界に何かが起きようとしている
Is that not just hinting the second Armageddon, but the whole world going haywire? Could that possibly mean that at the end of Bayonetta 3, fixing the Trinity of Realities might break a little crack in the Bayoverse in space? Space is rumored to be a huge setting in Bayonetta 3. I can already imagine this is what Radahn has been preparing for and why he's been making weapons at such an alarming rate to the point of being cast out of Paradiso. He even mentioned that the Trinity of Realities are getting more and more harder to tell apart. If he is considered to be the strongest character in the Bayoverse, I can already imagine him flying up to that fracture in outer space where he will unleash his strongest final form, ready to fight whatever that comes out. Out of all the times he could have intervened with Jubileus or Asir, this is the time for him to shine. Similar to when Urahara only came out to fight Aizen. This all ties back to why they've been keeping it a huge secret. A lot of you have been asking where is Bayonetta or what happened to it. I'm here to say that it would be cool to see if this game is the one that sets up the multi-Platinum-verse. You know I want to see 2B and Bayonetta, Virgil and John, A2 and Kaine, Dante and Radahn interact with each other. But Occam's razor, it's just being developed. And the information publisher is being hard-headed. And speaking of multiverses, here is Doctor Strange meeting Bayonetta. For real. And as always, never get disheartened.